to be doing today is I've been watching this guy named Graphically Alex, and I like a lot of the stuff that he does. He does a lot of like rebuffing fat activist talking points, which I appreciate, but he's going through his own weight loss journey. I guess he's been doing it for 3 years now. That's what I believe. And like I said, I've only been following him for a couple months. So I know a little bit about him. Um, I watched this earlier, so this is not a raw reaction. There's just some stuff that he talks about that I kind of want to make a comment on, and I guess we'll go from there.
All right, so we are going to talk today because I am actually losing my mind. I think this is probably going to be the most miserable I am is today, and I'm feeling it. The salt is running through very, very, very strongly. But I have to talk to you guys about the fact that I changed my workout program. It's an important turning point in my life, on the channel, etc., within my journey that I absolutely have to talk about. So I want to talk about why I did it and what I'm doing and the results of it. So basically, when I first was talking about changing my workout program, I think some people were just, it's not like super inquisitive or anything, but just kind of wondering why now, of all times, like why in the dead of winter, why?
I mean, January is typically a time where things change, and it seems like an easy time to change. Like January, you have New Year's resolutions and everything, new year, new you kind of thing. So it's not really that complicated, honestly, to figure it out. But I mean, good for you for making changes, especially if they put you in a more positive direction as to where you want to go.
In January, all that stuff. And it basically just has to do with maintenance and the overall anhedonia. I'm also in a very boring period of my life right now, which is also, you have to use slow periods of time to make progress. So basically, it was
like weight loss and fitness in general, from my experience, because I've been on my own fitness and weight loss journey for about a year and 3 months now. And it does get boring. It really does. Maybe he's talking about more of a professional thing, but if he's talking more of like fitness and weight loss, it's just repetitive. It really is. You eat a lot of the same foods, you do a lot of the same things in the gym. Um, and that consistency, though, will give you the results that you want. So boring is actually a good thing.
kind of like the stars aligned. Everything came together for me to do this. So basically, I was doing my workout routine as I normally would have, as I normally do at the start of the year. And for some reason, it was getting really bad. Like I was getting extremely sore. I don't know if it had to do with form. I don't know if I was like a little bit stronger so I could do better. Like, I don't know what it was exactly, but all of a sudden I became extremely sore at the gym after just my normal workout with the same weights, everything that I've been doing since literally July. So it made no sense to me.
Yeah, that is kind of odd because usually DOMS goes away. Like if you do stuff, if you do the same stuff a lot of the times, like that essential or that initial soreness will essentially dissipate. Like you'll still get a little sore, but your recovery is way easier after you've done it multiple times rather than um, like starting out. Because starting out like the day after, you're gonna feel wrecked, and that's why a lot of people suggest not going all out, like just making sure that your form is good, but don't put a whole lot of weight on it and don't do a whole lot of reps. Just kind of work into a new routine. But if this is from, doing your normal routine, that's odd. Maybe talk to a doctor or something about that.
I don't know if it has to do with the anhedonia, the serotonin dopamine balance, anything. I know when your dopamine is lower, you feel like your serotonin's higher, which can make your muscles stiff and that kind of thing. But it didn't really matter because ultimately it wasn't going to change. It's not something that was going to change in a day. It's not something that I was going to suddenly not be sore doing the workouts that I was doing. The other thing that happened is basically, as you guys know, my best friend Eric, he started a workout program, and he was going into this like competition thing because of the new year. So we're working with the wizard. But basically, Eric passed along the program to me, and he really suggested it. He was like, I worked with the wizard last year. I had really, really great results. You might want to.
I have no idea what the wizard is. I've been watching him for a while, and I guess that's just something I missed. I have no idea what he's referencing. No clue.
Consider trying the workouts and just find the weights that you're at and blah, 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 and just do it, basically. So I was like, okay, I do agree. Like, I have seen Eric's results. I have seen, the fitness influencer in question. Although I have personal issues or like I don't trust him as a person, the workouts are kind of on point because the results are there, basically. And the other thing is, like, I have reached an average level of fitness. So it's something where I'm not super weak and I'm not super strong. I'm in between. So this is a good time for me physically to make a jump to a more advanced program, basically. So doing real hardy workouts, traditional workouts, getting off of the machines. It's no longer as much about cardio benefits of, I was kind of do like bursts of movement with the weights and stuff because it was more about the cardio aspect.
So, like I said, I've watched this before, but I guess that kind of was the thing that kind of bothered me and why I wanted to respond in the first place is, I mean, cardio is great. I'm not going to diss cardio whatsoever. I think more people should do cardio, and I believe in weight loss, it should you should do a lot more cardio. But if you're using weights as cardio, it's not what I would recommend. He goes into it, and he's actually, well, I don't really want to spoil it, although I'm probably going to, but you should really focus on a lot of the main lifts, essentially pressing, rows, lat pull downs, that kind of thing, deadlifts. Um, you should focus on those compounds to build muscle because muscle burns way more calories than just being in a calorie deficit and then adding cardio on top of that. If all you do is focus on cardio, you could potentially lose your the muscle that could actually help you out.
Of weight loss instead of muscle building, which the goal has shifted as I'm entering my body recomp era and I need to build muscle. I have lost muscle, particularly in the vanity weight era. So since July, from July until now, I have lost muscle.
I mean, what if what he says is true? He's definitely lost muscle if all he's really done is focus more on the cardio aspect. If he was doing machines, he might have preserved some. I don't know exactly what his nutrition is. I believe he has his protein on point from what I've heard. He hasn't really shown a whole lot. He just says that his protein is on point. I can only take his word for it. So he might have preserved some muscle, but if all he's doing is, lightweight for cardio. I don't know.
I'm having body comp issues. There are vanity concerns. I'm not looking very shapely and I'm concerned.
I mean, the reason why he's not looking shapely is because he's just skinny fat at this point. He should have been putting on muscle this entire time, and he would have looked a lot better. And I'm not dissing him for it. I actually like the guy. Um, I do. I like listening to his stuff. It's just I kind of wish, he would have started the recomp way sooner, especially when he had that mass to begin with. It would have been a lot easier to um, put on that muscle as well, being that big. Then he would just be able to main gain, because I wouldn't recommend that he bulks now. But it's might be, I'm just going to say might be more difficult to add muscle at this point, depending on how much he still has to lose or whatever his goals are.
Personally and activistically and all these things, because I do know that looks matter in terms of activism, which people don't want to talk about it. And they also matter in terms of branding. It just matters. So I have to hold myself to a higher standard, because it's also from a leadership position. As a leader, you have to be willing to do more work than the people that are following you, essentially, which, it's just an activistic thing, basically. It's like you have to be willing to do better. It's kind of like when you're a boss at work. It's not the same thing, because I'm not your boss, but I am an activist and I am attempting to lead in this cause. So I have to be willing to do more work than the average person. So
I mean, putting in the work is great. I don't know if you necessarily have to do more work, because what does that really mean? I mean, as long as you're doing what you need to do to improve yourself, I think that's enough. If you can show progress that you're making changes, I think honestly that's enough.
reaching average is just not good enough. As an activist, I'm being a passable activist, but I'm not being an excellent one, which I want to be excellent. And that's okay. I do take this seriously. A lot of people don't understand that, but I do take my activism seriously. I have lived and breathed it since 2023, especially. It has been one of the biggest aspects of my life. It has been something I've been so incredibly devoted to. So I went into the vanity era with the perspective of I have to do better than the average person, which was basically I shaved off another 20 pounds.
I mean, that's great that, he's doing this, but I think he could be forcing himself to do this. Not that that's a bad thing. Like, it's great to have that motivation and then to have that intensity. It's just, it's way easy to burn yourself out if you think you have to be excellent every single time. Because honestly, this is a marathon. It's not a sprint. You really need to make sure that you don't burn yourself out, and you'll have an easier time getting to where you need to be.
A vanity weight, and then now I'm working to build muscle. So there are a lot of mixed reasons. I have a lot of reasons for doing it. There are some activistic reasons, some personal reasons, I think even some spiritual reasons. So there's a lot. There's reasons in terms of, I want to be more romantically attractive. There's reasons in terms of I want to become more spiritually balanced, keep aligning the chakras, so to speak, and actually have more attention to detail. I think honestly, it sounds really weird to a lot of people, but looking better or looking sexier, in a sense, it's a way to get in touch with the sacral chakra.
I mean, your reasons for getting fit are your own, and there's nothing wrong for trying to strive for an aesthetic. I mean, honestly, I think that's a decent reason to do it. That shouldn't be shameful at all. Not one bit. I mean, you'll have health, but then you'll also have the aesthetics that go along with it, because a healthy person is just naturally more attractive. So it really kind of goes hand in hand, honestly. I'm not much for the woo stuff. No offense, Alex, but not really into that. I'm kind of an atheist, so it's not really my thing. So I'm not going to comment on it.
I am not really in touch with it at all. Also, being stronger is good for root chakra alignment. So, like, for example, being able to get up off the floor without using your arms, that's a really good thing to do root chakra wise. And then also too,
Honestly, being able to get off the floor without using your arms is a very good test of mobility and strength and fitness.
I want to stay focused on my own goals, my own aspirations, and that kind of thing, which is more solar plexus. So again, I tend to be in the higher chakras too much. So that's your throat, your third eye, and the crown. I'm too in that. So I have to find balance. So a vanity pursuit, or a pursuit of beauty, basically, that is going to help align me, basically, which that does upset people, but I don't really care. It's my life and it's my spiritual journey.
Not sure why it would upset anybody. I mean, if whatever, like I said, I'm not really into the whole chakra thing, but I mean, for you to get upset about it doesn't make sense whatsoever.
And I do admit that part of it is to be more romantically attractive as well. So it's not like I'm hiding that
Again,
at all, but it's also the activistic goal as well, to help further inspire and to show that it is possible and these kinds of things. It also helps within maintenance as well. So there's also, again, those rooted chakra motives of this will keep the weight off, because the more muscle you have, the easier it is to maintain. So that's important too. So basically, those are my reasons for it, for trying to build muscle.
Valid reasons. Valid reasons.
And so I had a lot of reasons, and I was already going to do this. It was just a matter of when. But when the program kind of fell into my lap, I'm already sore. I'm in a boring period of my life where I don't really have anything else to focus on other than this on a personal level. My life is just very, very slow at this time. There's not a lot of work. It's just, and again, I'm going into maintenance and I'm bored out of my mind with anhedonia. So it gave me something to do as well. So there's just a lot of layers as to why it's happening today, like now. So basically, for all those reasons, I did it. I still have anhedonia, but it is less. So it did help a little bit. I think because it was so new and so fucking difficult. So the kinds of workouts that I'm doing, they're like lunges, squats. I'm supposed to do it with barbells.
So all the lifts that I mentioned earlier that are compound exercises that hit more muscle groups than machines do, because machines are more isolation focused, where the compound lifts hit multiple groups all at the same time, and you actually save time by doing compound lifts.
I'm doing a lot of free weight workouts. I'm doing deadlifts. I'm doing a lot more ab exercises than I'm used to. I'm doing a lot of stuff. It's difficult.
And doing the compound lifts, like, your abs are activated. You have to keep your core solid when you're doing them, especially under heavy load. You're really going to need to have strong abs to be able to keep yourself in form.
This is a difficult program, and it's probably, as the weights go up over time, it will become a pretty advanced program. This is not something that I would suggest to somebody who's overweight. This is not something I would suggest to somebody especially morbidly obese and above.
See, this is kind of where I might disagree here. I think you should go to your doctor for one. You should always go to your doctor first before you perform any exercise whatsoever. That is my disclaimer. Do not just go to the gym and start moving weights without getting a clear bill of health, no matter what your size is, if you haven't exercised in forever. And then once you're cleared, I would suggest start with the compound lifts, just the basics, like I said, bench, deadlift, rows, that kind of thing. You'll hit more muscle groups. You won't spend as much time in the gym. And the isolation workouts, that's more to where when you've already got your base in line, I think. Personally, that's how I feel. If you disagree, that's fine, but the compound lifts are where you build up your base physique, and then you kind of isolate from there.
That's kind of a hell no, in my opinion. This is very hard. It's a little bit adrenal of a workout. I don't even know necessarily if I would suggest this for a woman.
No, absolutely not. Women should be doing this kind of stuff too. Not with the same weights as a guy, but from the things that he's told us, the deadlifts and squats and things like that, that's not barred for females. Honestly, anybody should be doing them, honestly.
It's that difficult. I'm not saying that women couldn't do something like that, but you need to look at it, look at where you're at health-wise and stuff.
Yeah,
but
you
it's
should go
tough.
to a doctor and make sure.
It is actually really hard. And so I started it on Tuesday, and I did legs. So I did deadlifts for the first time in my life. I did some Romanian ones, I think, where you're focusing more on hamstrings.
Yeah.
I did squats, which I couldn't use any weight, so my own body weight was enough, and it was so difficult. I had to do the Stairmaster that day. It was a lot of leg. And my legs were so incredibly sore after that. I was like,
Hopefully he's doing cardio after. Typically what you want to do is you want to do your weightlifting first and then do your cardio. You don't want to do your cardio first because you'll drain all your energy and you won't perform as well lifting weights.
Like on Wednesday, it was so sore. I just felt oppressed, and it's like I'm constantly literally moaning and oh my gosh, like I'm literally sounding like one of the fucking zombies on The Last of Us because I'm so sore that if I'm adjusting on the couch, it's like I can't help but moan.
So he's got DOMS essentially from the new exercises that he's doing. Those will go away in about a week or so, and you shouldn't have that problem. I mean, you just need to put in the rest. If you're still feeling really sore, don't push yourself, because honestly, you won't make any gains anyways if you push yourself. You need to allow your body to properly rest. Where you build muscle is actually when you sleep and when you rest. I mean, you use your protein is the building blocks. Rest is where the actual building happens, and weightlifting is essentially tearing the muscle fibers down so that they can be rebuilt. And if you're just going to keep tearing them apart before they're repaired, you're not gonna get the gains that you are looking for.
I felt like a zombie. I was like, like they sound on the show. And I'm like, there's this one stalker. It's like a phase of the zombie outbreak that I was like, I figured out because I was just like, I was playing around and I was like, which one am I? And I found the stalker and I was like, I'm the stalker, which the stalker is like a medium phase, I guess. It's kind of like when you've been infected for a while. And so it's
I
like
don't
you're
know
losing
anything about
speech
Last
patterns
of
and
Us.
they
Haven't
just
watched the
moan
movie.
a
Haven't
lot.
played
They
the
moan
game.
a lot and they're like kind of I was making fun of it because some of the moans they do sound sexual and I just thought it was funny.
Gross.
Which, like I said, I'm trying to get in touch with my sacral, so I'm not like afraid of sexual humor at all. Like,
Neither am
I
I.
know I come across as kind of like a stick up the ass sometimes on this channel, but I'm just really usually trying to be serious. But in my downtime, I'm not that serious.
Which
And
is
like I
good.
said, I'm making fun of it, and it's just funny because it literally sounds like that.
Because he is a really pretty he's pretty serious on the channel. He does joke around a little bit, like here and there, but I mean, if he's going up against fat acceptance guru or whatever you want to call him, he's daggers.
Where the stalker zombie, she's like, oh, oh, you know, and stuff like that. And that's how I felt. And then I was making fun of myself because I was like, I'm just sitting in bed. I was like bed rotting all day on Wednesday. And it's like, sorry, my camera just ran out of footage. The anhedonia wasn't that bad, where it's not like I'm extremely bored resting in bed all day because it's that tough. Oh my gosh, it's getting dark. Because it's that tough. So basically, I was able to rest fine, but it's still,
That's good.
it was painful.
It's
and like
going to be.
Wednesday night, like getting around the
new.
48-hour mark, the 24-hour mark, it was horrible. I was so incredibly sore.
Yeah, that's DOMS, delayed onset muscle soreness. Yeah.
And so the next day I did arms, which it wasn't that bad for me. I think the way the program is structured, the third and fourth day of the workouts they're like less intense. So I skipped the first day and I just started on the second day. And so that was okay, but I had to do a chin up and it was really hard. And it's like, I'm not used to like shaking and like, it was still like, it was an assisted one. Like, let's not play.
Like, assisted or not, that's great. Like, that shaking is essentially your muscles failing, which is essentially what you want. Either failure or close to failure, because that's when the muscle actually tears down. And when you rest, it'll repair itself. And it's essentially sending signals like, oh shit, we really need to start lifting more weight, so we'll repair ourselves so we can actually compensate. And that's how muscle is essentially built. Um, Assisted pull-ups is fine. I have no problems. I can't even do a pull-up unassisted myself, especially since I don't have, unfortunately, in the truck, I don't have a place to really do pull-ups. So I don't even really know where my pull-up game is at right now, which sucks. But yeah, I was never able to do pull-ups even in the military. Like, I would have to do assisted or reverse pull-ups, was essentially you jump up and then you lower yourself down very slowly. And that helps build the muscle, but I was always too big. Working on it.
But I couldn't really hang. And then I had to do abs and stuff. And it's like, I'm on the floor. I never was doing abs on the floor ever. And it was just, it was tough. And I was so sore. Like my abs were so sore. And it's just really, really, really hard. And it's like, it's so difficult that I'm literally like, I can't think very well. My brain cells are dead. Like, it kind of turned my brain off, to be honest. And it was hard to think clearly. And it's like, it was hard. This week has been brutal. Absolutely brutal. And so that's kind of what I've been dealing with this week. And I still have been keeping up dailies and all that stuff. And it's tough. So it's just like, I did legs again last night. And I woke up today and I'm so fucking sore today as well. Like the legs are just really hitting me.
Hopefully he's not forcing himself to do the legs too badly. Like if you're really that sore, if you're walking even days after, like you got hit by a bus, I would probably like delay it. Like, don't stop your routine. Either go lighter or just take an active rest day and like walk or do some kind of cardio, like light cardio, literally walking, just to get the blood flowing in your muscles. But forcing, like I said, forcing yourself to do more exercise when you're already sore and the muscle fibers are already torn and not properly repaired yet, um, you're not really getting anywhere.
And I think it's like the lunges, the squats, like all that stuff. It's just brutal. My arms are sore. Like I had to do skull crushers and stuff. Like they're sore, but it's not that bad at all. And so it's just like, and then I'm having to eat a lot of protein. And it's like, oh my gosh, like it's just a lot. And then I have to still have a lot of energy and I'm trying to make it work. Like I'm within maintenance. So it's,
I mean, trying to eat your protein is honestly the best way to go, especially with real food. But honestly, don't shy away from like taking like protein powder or something like that if you just aren't hungry or whatever. Like I typically try and eat my protein. That's how I prefer to get my protein because I'd rather have a full stomach. But if at the end of the day I'm tired, I'm not hungry, but I still need to hit my protein goal, I either do a shake or I do protein powder, just put it in water or milk and drink it and call it a day.
easier for sure, but there's no way in hell I could have done this if I wasn't in maintenance. There's literally no way. No way in hell. And that to me has been really, really, really challenging. Like this is feeling very Lana era-ish still, like very, very tough. But once I adjust, I think I'll be going into the next era because it should be easier because then it's just kind of these slow incremental increases. But right.
Yeah, honestly, you shouldn't be in a huge deficit, especially if you're doing the kind of workouts he's expressing that he's doing. You shouldn't be in a very huge, like you shouldn't be in a really big deficit at all. If at all, I would have just, my recommendation would have been to eat at maintenance for the goal weight that he wants. And then that way he'll be able to have the energy to work out. And then he'll be able to easily get the protein in with real food by having a higher calorie count as well. And he won't feel as lethargic.
Right now, getting used to these movements, getting used to this structure, getting used to 4 days per week, getting used to all these things. This is challenging at this time, but it was the perfect time. And that's basically why it's happening. And I have no regrets or whatever at all, but it's just really hard. And I'm frustrated in pretty much every single way you can be. You know, where it's like I'm frustrated financially. I'm frustrated with how slow this time is. It's hard for me to be still because of the anhedonia.
Yeah, the closer that you get to your goal, the more it slows down. It feels like, especially where I'm at. I've already lost 95 pounds. I'm at 238 the last time I weighed in roughly, and it has really slowed. Like the first like 70 pounds was easy. I really didn't even put in a whole lot of exercise whatsoever. But then, you know, the less calories that your body needs, the slower it goes, because it's harder to have a deficit. So yeah, it's difficult when you start getting down to where you want to be. But I mean, you just have to look at the prize at the end, really.
And so I guess my best advice and what I'm learning in this situation is that it is actually pretty beneficial to create a new workout program upon entering maintenance, because it does provide you with something to do, especially if you're very bored, which I am. And again, a lot of it is a chemical boredom. And I can't say it's all bad. Like, I do feel like my channel and stuff, like, or how I'm talking on here.
I mean, changing up a routine isn't horrible. Like, I would stick with it for at least like 8 weeks at a time. Maybe take a deload week where you kind of back off the weight, reevaluate what your goals are, and then you can come up with a brand new routine, especially if you're getting bored, or you just don't like the exercises anymore. You still want to stick to exercising the same muscles, but you just do it in a different way so that you're not bored. But yeah, that's totally justifiable.
It's becoming a lot more clear. Like, I feel like I'm able to speak better for the most part, but it was tough. Like this week, where there were times where it's like I can't even think because I'm so sore. And today, it's kind of one of those days. I feel like tomorrow will be really tough too. And I think I'm burning fat, honestly. I think it's a lot. And it's just very intense. But I already see some physical improvements. When I went to do the squats and stuff on Thursday, so yesterday, or no, Friday, I mean, yesterday, I was so much stronger. I could do all of the reps of the squats. And I mean like ass to floor levels of squat. Like, I'm really doing them, and I could do them. And so already my quad.
Yeah, it's amazing how fast your body will, you know, not sure exactly how to say it, but like get there um, when you're putting in the work. It's really surprising um, because when you first start, you'll start getting PR after PR, which is your a personal record. Um, but then it starts to slow down. So enjoy, you know, the starting phase, because after a while, like it'll be a while before you start to get there. Because I don't even think I'm really there, honestly. But it'll start to slow down.
Quads are getting stronger, my legs are getting stronger. Like, everything is responding to the training, and I am healthy enough to attempt this. And I think that that's kind of the biggest thing, is just testing the limits and being able to do it. And hopefully getting the results, which, like I said, I do see some results already where I feel like my body is coming together a little bit, even within a week. So within 6 months, that gives me a lot of hope and faith that things will be more in the right direction for me. And so, yeah, that's where I'm at. So I just had to let you guys know that it's tough. I do think it's good to do an advanced program if you can. And if you're in maintenance, you can do more because you have more to work with. So that's my little take. That's where I'm at. And I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.
Yeah, I completely agree with them there. The only things I guess I had a problem with is telling morbidly obese people and fat people and that they shouldn't be doing the basics, essentially, which is kind of weird because that's where you should start. Um, but like I said before, you should get checked out by a doctor before you even start any kind of workout routine. Um, and it doesn't matter if you're morbidly obese or thin, honestly. If you've never worked out before or it's been a long time, you should probably get checked out and make sure that your mobility is there before starting any kind of routine. But that being said, I just kind of wanted to respond to this, and glad that he's um, hopefully found a routine that he can stick with and actually build muscle. That was kind of one of the things I was concerned about when I was watching him from before, is he never really explained his routine, but he didn't really say that he was doing like he seemed to be against doing the things to build muscle, which was always confusing to me. Um, because like I said, it would just be easier to burn calories having that muscle. Plus, you'll look a lot better. But I'm glad that he's there now. So um, that does it for me. And I guess I'll see you in the next one.